psychological operations in the Army in 2003, it was illegal to run psychological operations on the American people. Well, Obama changed that in 2014. Now it's perfectly legal to run PSYOP on the American people. You are living in a multifaceted psychological operations exercise on every front.
Tell me this dude's foot didn't just disappear on the Rittenhouse trial. Gone. Plus the audience isn't hardly moving at all. It looks like a recording on loop. Like they're barely moving. They all look dead. And then I see this dude's foot disappear. Here it is again. That's a green screen, bro. Here's the video slowed down. It looks like there's something blocking his foot. This is all a circus. It's just meant to distract you. You can't believe anything you hear anymore, man.
Believe nothing and be on your guard against everything.
This all sounds a little far-fetched. We were, some people said, the CIA's answer to Q in the James Bond movies. We had disguise officers, forensics folks. We were a big cluster of technical capability that could handle just about any kind of operation that you could imagine. My husband was Tony Mendez, and he was played by Ben Affleck in the movie called Argo. To the tradespeople out in LA that did a lot of things we were interested in doing. Special effects people, makeup people. Tony was chief of disguise 10 years before I was chief of disguise. And so he passed on some of his expertise to me. So we went to LA and we posed some questions to them. We said, we have a problem. We're looking for novel solutions. What have you got? Can you help us? We need to hide the true identity of our officers. They introduced us to a new concept. They said, what you are calling an operation, we call a performance. That's what we do. We put on performances. And before we start working on that performance, we have to define the stage that the performance is going to take place on. Then you have to know who your audience is. Who are you playing to? Who are you trying to fool? Then they showed us some tools that they used. The one that really caught our eye is what's called a stunt double mask. You all know how they're used. So we went back to our disguise labs out at Langley, and we invented a whole new genre of masks. Masks that are so good, that are so realistic, that you can actually get up close and have a personal contact with someone for an extended period of time. They're good enough that you can brief the President of the United States in the Oval Office wearing a mask. Those masks were the beginning of a whole new generation of work that we did at the CIA. Then we discovered we could make a twin. We could make another you. There could be two of you. And I can tell you these stories because this information is no longer classified. Although that cat and mouse game goes on, it's not over. You might also ask me, well then what are they doing if they're not doing this? And I would have to tell you that I can't tell you. Because if I did, I'd have to kill you.
I have always been of the view that the tax policy is not about punishing people, it's about giving everybody a shot, giving everybody an equal prospect. And so what I call for example, there's overwhelming evidence now that the idea that the capital gains tax is promoting growth is just not the case.
Very important to have a president who's realistic and listens to what the enemy says. Secondly, I'm confident, or I believe, I'm optimistic we'll succeed. If not, I'd pull our troops out. If I didn't believe we had a plan for victory, I wouldn't leave our people in harm's way.
This is a PSA. You can't believe anything you see these days. These glasses aren't even real. Neither is my face. All this stuff was 3D tracked on using these dots that I drew on with this marker. Actually, the marker isn't real either. Neither is the background. Or my face. Have a good night.
Прошу вас принести присягу. Заступаючи на посаду президента Республіки Білорусь, урочисто клянуся вірно служити народу Республіки Білорусь,
поважать и оховывать правы и свободы человека и громадянина, заховывать и оборонять Конституцию Республики Беларусь, свято и добросумленно виконувати ускладжені на мене високі обов'язки.
Important for you to know that everybody can do deepfakes now.
And I want
you can
to
turn your head
reassure
around.
that if we remain united and
Mouth
resolute,
movements are looking great,
then we will overcome
and eye
it.
movements are also translated into the
I
target
hope in the years to come, everyone
And
will.
important for you
Together
to
we
know
are
that
tackling
everybody
this
can do
disease.
deepfakes now.
And I
You
want
can
to
turn your head
reassure
around.
that if we remain united and
Mouth
resolute,
movements are looking great,
then we will
and
overcome
eye
it.
movements are also translated into the
I
target
hope in the years to come, everyone.
Tell me which Obama here is real.
To help families refinance their homes, to invest in things like high-tech manufacturing, clean energy, and the infrastructure that creates good new jobs.
Anyone? The answer is none of them. None of these is actually real. My inspiration for this work was a project meant to preserve our last chance for learning about Holocaust from the survivors. It allows you to have interactive conversations with a hologram of a real Holocaust survivor.
How did you survive the Holocaust?
How did I survive? I survived, I believe, because Providence watched over me.
These answers were pre-recorded in a studio, yet the effect is astounding. You feel so connected to his story and to him as a person. So I saw this and began to wonder, can we create a model like this for anyone? A model that looks, talks, and acts just like them. I eventually came up with a new solution that can build a model of a person using existing photos and videos of a person. First, we introduced a new technique that can reconstruct high-detail 3D face model from any image without ever 3D scanning the person. And here's the same output model from different views. This also works on videos by running the same algorithm on each video frame and generate a moving 3D model. What's fascinating about this is that the photo collection can come from your typical photos. It doesn't really matter what expression you're making or where you took those photos. What matters is that there are a lot of them. And we're still missing color here. So next, we develop a new blending technique that improves upon a simple averaging method and produces sharp facial textures and colors. And here's a lot of fun demo. So what you see here are a controllable model of people I built from their internet photos. Now, if we transfer the emotion from the input video, we can actually drive the entire party.
It's a very difficult bill to pass because there's a lot of moving parts, and the legislative process can be ugly.
These results seem very realistic and intriguing, but at the same time frightening. One thing that concerns me is its potential for misuse. People have been thinking about this problem for a long time, since the days when Photoshop first hit the market. As a researcher, I'm also working on countermeasure technology, and I'm part of an ongoing effort at AI Foundation, which uses a combination of machine learning and human moderators to detect fake images and videos, fighting against my own work. And one of the tools we plan to release is called Reality Defender, which is a web browser plugin that can flag potentially fake contents automatically right in the browser. Fake videos could do a lot of damage, even before anyone has a chance to verify. So it's very important that we make everyone aware of what's currently possible, so we can have the right assumption and be critical about what we see.
I want you to ask yourself, when you're being told information like Bill Gates says there's going to be a surprise outbreak, or Fauci says there's going to be this or that, or vials of smallpox are suddenly found and you get to know about it. Why? Why do you get to know about it? Because they're setting up a narrative. What is that narrative? What does the narrative gain? Everything in these operations are designed to make you afraid so that you do what the powers that be want you to do, okay? Win the hearts and minds of the people, okay? And that's done with fear. So stop being afraid. You do not fear men. Your soul is eternal. Stop being afraid and stand up.
Politicians power, any kind of power that didn't exist previously. If they can figure out a way to force you into carrying something that lets you enter businesses or lets you do this or lets businesses open, historically, they are not going to give that power up. They find new reasons to use it.
I'll be back.
We have to protect those freedoms at all costs, whether you agree with people's choices or not, because it is the foundation that this country was founded on. Freedom. This idea of freedom, there's so many people that think it's frivolous, it's not important, it's not the main thing that we should be focused on, but it is the literal structure that allows this country to be so fucking amazing. Every single country that's ever existed other than the United States, up until 1776, every fucking country that has ever existed was run by dictators. All of them. This is the first experiment in self-government that actually worked, and it created the greatest superpower the world's ever known. It created the greatest cultural machine, the greatest machine of art and creativity and innovation right fucking here. And how did it do that? It did it through freedom. And as soon as you see something, anything that comes along and inhibits your freedom, you should be very cautious of that thing. You should be very suspicious. Because anything that comes along that can inhibit your freedom is, by definition, anti-American.